Shalom, Shalom, and stuff. Source by giving all praise to Yahweh, Shameless, Shy, double honors, apostle GMS, and honors to brothers that are doing the work in truth while sincerity. Trying to do this one out real quick for use on this program, Naked Attraction, over here in the UK. I don't know if you're able to watch it over there in the States, but I'm sure you can find means to do so online. Basically, this is just wickedness, like legit. This show is apparently on at 10 o'clock. Alright, so 10 o'clock. I have nephews and nieces up, cousins up at that age. I mean, little cousins up at that time, right? And basically, this is like a show of full frontal nudity, and the aim of the game is, as the game goes on, basically you just see everyone naked first. Potential partners, like speed dating show, but you see a potential partner naked first before you go in and continue, right? Which is just backwards, because you think about it, when you've got a man, I know it is. You see a chick, you're feeling, you're digging, and you're like, God damn, yeah, man, shit. She looked good. Right? One of the things you're doing is you're imagining undressing her, imagining her in the bed chambers as you'd have it, and taking off her clothes and seeing her naked form. That is something, for the imagination. So, making it that much sweeter. But as soon as you just go straight in for the kill, man, forgetting the fact you ain't supposed to be going on national television. This is 1 to 5, right? Back in the days, you just had first of all, you had Channel 1, which is the BBC, but then for the longest time, it was just 1 to 5, right? As in, these are the 5 channels that we had, and obviously you had the Sky and all of that, but anyone can watch this TV show. All I have to do is create an account, and I can, I can watch this. I just have to put in a fake cage. You see adult content and full frontal nudity. Let's all get into some scripture. It says, Rock 25 and 21 says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire not for pleasure. Right? And we were speaking about it amongst ourselves, amongst the brethren, about how brothers bringing out how really and truly when you get married, well, that's a contract. That's something that's going to be good for business, right? And also talking on how it was the father that will basically choose the husband for his daughter, right? Because she'll go on shows like this to choose her husband. Or Love Island. It came out that Love Island has had more attention than what do you call it than the crisis in Yemen. Love Island, for fuck's sake. I didn't even watch that shit, but apparently that shit was just a giant televised orgy, right? Not celebrity, Big Brother on steroids. That's practically what it is, right? It's not saying that you won't look at a woman and think, damn, she's beautiful, but she's got to bring something to the table, man, which in this kingdom is next to none. You'll be at work and you'll just be hearing guys talking about how, their woman can't cook, and they don't see a problem with that, right? You're dealing with a woman, she's supposed to bring something to the table, right? How is she going to look after your children? The truth is, the majority of these women don't want to do that, right? I'm going to jump to the next scriptures. Sirach 29 and 21 says, the chief things for life is water and bread and clothing, and then house to cover shame. Right, hey man, when you're out and about, you're supposed to be clothed, man. And that's where it's supposed to be. There are instances in the scriptures where that's not been the case, but the general rule of thumb is you've had a few cases. What was it? You had the case with King David was dancing. His rod hung out. He had, I believe it was Isaiah who preached naked, and also I believe Saul as well. He was prophesying naked when he said, "Is he as one of the apostles?" If my memory serves me well, right? You can confirm that for yourself. But having shows like this, which is just purely for lust, right? Just so everyone can lust on there, it's off, man. Right, this is Sirach 26 and 25 says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. And like I said, to go on this show, man, you're a woman, man, you gotta be shameless, man. You gotta, I don't even know. I mean, you got the guys on here as well. They ain't right. You know, because you already know what it is with men. Right, that's, you know, that was some homosexual shit, because the man will be looking at the other man, oh, Shazzy, has got a bigger dick than me, he's got a bigger dick than me, and you already know as soon as you, I've not watched, so I don't know, but you already know as soon as you got a Jacob in there, the first thing everyone's gonna look at is it bigger or not, right? Which are, you know, just to sidetrack, right? You know, meditating on really and truly, when it comes to you and your woman, the size of your penis should not even matter. Right, because that should, in a righteous world, be the only penis she ever knows. And you know how it. I've never dealt with a virgin, but I've heard that shit's super tight, right? And that will just mold to the shape of your penis, so it doesn't even matter, right? So you already know there's going to be that homosexual vibe going on, where the men are looking at each other, thinking, "Nah, shit, is he bigger than mine? Is he not bigger than mine? What's going on?" Right. So everything about this program is just off, and this is at 10 o'clock. Right, brothers was speaking about how you had Euro trash over here in the UK, but that was on after midnight, man, after 12, when the kids had long gone to sleep. Right. Yeah, so this is Matthew 16:4, says, a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. Right, so this generation is completely wicked and adulterous. Right, you know, I had an encounter not too long ago about, you know, I just met a chick, you know, so you know, basically getting information about the relationship status. She's like, well, he's not really my boyfriend. And she gave me some monologue about how, you know, in the new world, you know, people basically just try each other out first. You know, they'll be fucking for a few months. Really, isn't translated. What she was saying is people just fuck for a few months, and then after a while it's like, okay, what are we now? Maybe for a few months, but maybe a few weeks or whatever, and then they'll say, oh, what are we, boyfriend and girlfriend? What's going on? Right. But you know, that's just the generation we in. But in that period of time, though, she's still telling the world she's single. So here it is. You might go out to a woman and say, "Hey, you know, what's going on? Are you single?" And she'll be like, "Yeah," because in her mind, the guy that she's currently fucking is not her boyfriend, right? Which is why you say wicked adults generation, and this is more of it. This is why you know, these things happen, and they'll then go and complain about how the children are over sexualized. When you got shit like this on the TV, you see you know, an advert which sees naked women or half naked women. You go out, you know, you're just walking with, let's say, you know, your young children or your nephews and nieces. You're walking around, you know, and then you just see just everything, right? So this is what you it's the society that we grow in, that we, you know, your children grow up in. It's a society that is, everything is just adulterous, man. And this is vibe. It's shows things like this, and obviously everything about this kingdom is out there pushing and proliferating. Can't even say that word, but basically maintaining that, man. Right, this is Sirach 36:24. This should have brought this out earlier. It says, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and the pillar of rest. So going back to this, it's Sirach 25:21, where it says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure. Right, this goes hand in hand with this, because at the end of the day, in the ancient world, when you lay down with a woman, that's your wife. You're you know, to put it in layman's terms, you're stuck with that. Right, so you wouldn't just go around fucking anything. Right, you know, you may be thinking, damn, she's sweet, you know, but then you realize, you know, there's certain things that ain't right with her, man. You're gonna, because, well, one, you're gonna have to pay for it. No, you're gonna have to hand over the dowry, right? And two, man, you're gonna be with that woman for the rest of your life. It ain't like now where it's like, she looks nice, fuck her for one night and then be gone. Right. So really, it's a possession, because that's the order of thing, right? And this is an help, when she's supposed to help, man. Man will go to work and she'll be at home and taking care of the home, you know, making sure that the children are looked after. You know, she'll educate the children, you know, while you're away doing what you got to do. Obviously, you'd educate her so that she doesn't start going off, right? This is Proverbs 30:20, says, such is the way of an adulterous woman, she eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness. Right, so this is this kind of show, hey, they should be going on this show. There's nothing wrong with it. I can show my body if I want to. That whole feminist mantra, I can do what I want with my body, right? Yeah, so they're going around saying, that they ain't done shit wrong. Reading Truth is talking about, you get them, bitches, you just sucking away. No, I didn't do anything. I wasn't cheating. I wasn't doing, but it's all wicked. It's all adultery, and yeah, and it basically nicely segues onto the scripture, 2 Ezra 9:1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, when thou seest part of the signs past, which I've told thee before, then thou shalt understand this is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Right, so the main bit I want to get here is measure thou the time diligently in itself. Right, we're basically seeing this shit. We're seeing this shit. We're saying, this kingdom has to be through. We'll see Caitlyn, whatever Jenner, Bruce or Caitlyn, whatever it wants to be today. Jenner and say, fuck, this kingdom's done. We'll see the way the law has been just passed through our blanket all over America. We say, hey man, this place is done. We see how they're teaching children about what do you call it, about being homosexual and trans, sort of thing, about how a woman was like a child, basically young children under the age of 5 or 5 and under talking about how they're transgender. And you say, this kingdom, this is the end, right? And probably was looking at that, this kingdom's through, this kingdom is done, right? So Lord's all, you've been edified, and I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I'm sure other brothers have, already gone into it. But I just wanted to add, I'll just pull this one up here. I won't play it, but okay, no, I won't let me play. I just wanted to show you that the scriptures are true. You can see this man here is red. And also she's wearing a red top as well. Colors have purpose. Red has quite a sexual color. If I remember correctly, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, Lord, we've been edified. Until next time, show.